Hey everyone, it's Lauren Lea from East Coast Dives, and today we are here to review the Cascade LX helmet. So giving you guys a brief history on the lacrosse rules. So about 2 years ago, US had a proposal that all women's lacrosse players should be wearing helmets. Cascade was the spearhead of this, so they created the Cascade LX kind of during the proposal process. Unfortunately for Cascade, the rule was never passed by US Lacrosse. So they made a bunch of these heads, and unfortunately for them, the rule wasn't in place, and so it was up to the player themselves if they wanted to wear this or not. So talking about price, the Cascade LX is actually $150, but when you compare that to a regular goggle, let's say the STX Foresight, that is $100. So with $50 more, you are getting full around protection around your face instead of just in front of your face. So I mean, I think that's a pretty good deal if you're worried about having as most protection as possible. So talking about color options that come with the Cascade LX, you have the option of black and gray, royal blue, navy blue, Carolina blue, red, and white. So all of them are going to come with this matte gray, but the accent of color is going to come on the top decal and then on the sides. So many options for you to choose from, and I think that gives you a lot of options with the type of team that you're playing for and the colors that you're repping. So talking about the selling points that the Cascade LX headgear offers, they have a goggle integrated system, so that is going to take a lot of facial pressure off of your cheekbones when you're wearing a normal pair of goggles. Since it is entirely integrated into one headgear, the top of your head is going to relieve a lot of that pressure that you would normally have on your face. So now I want to talk about the goggle integration system and the vision that comes with the Cascade LX helmet. When I put it on, I really felt no difference between wearing goggles and wearing this in the vision aspect. I felt that I was able to see peripherally, which is was a main concern when I first put on this helmet, or when I first saw it, is that I wasn't going to see much. Especially if you're a feeder, you want to be able to see all aspects of the game if I can feed, and also being a defender as well, you want to be able to see all players on the field. But I really didn't have that problem when I've been playing with this, which I think is great. You don't want to decrease the vision in a helmet. And I think that Cascade did a really nice job with the goggle integration. So another point that Cascade is making is once you pick up this headgear, you will notice that it actually has a soft shell. When you're watching players on TV, I had actually no idea that the helmet had a soft shell. I thought it was just hard plastic like the men's lacrosse helmet would be. So the reason that they have the soft shell integrated into their headgear is because that the helmet is not a law or rule in lacrosse yet. So if a player were to be wearing this and they were going up against a player who wasn't wearing the headgear, if they were to run into them, the collision would kind of be lessened because of the soft shell that is integrated into the headgear. So talking about the final selling point that Cascade offers with this headgear is the XRD Foam technology that they have integrated within the headgear itself. They say that this is going to dissipate some of the blow that happens if you were to get hit by a ball or with a stick. It's going to dissipate everything, so you're not going to be feeling it on your head, whereas this will kind of serve as a shock absorber so you aren't getting a concussion or getting hurt in a game. Going with the fit of the helmet, I have a really, really small head, and like Greg from ECD, he says that he has a hard time wearing hats because they go over his ears. I am the same exact way. So when I put this on, I thought it was going to be big, to be honest. When I put it on, it was a little bit tight around my forehead area, but luckily with this elastic, you are able to adjust to your head shape. Even when I adjusted to the largest size, I was still feeling a lot of the pressure within the front of my face. I believe that the XRD technology will break in over time, and that's the same thing with goggles too. When you first buy a pair of goggles, they're going to be extremely tight on your face, even if you loosen them up because the elastic hasn't broken in yet. So I assume that's what will happen over time with the fit of the helmet. So talking about the final opinion that I have about the Cascade LX is that when I put this on, I feel even more fearless on the field. Not to say that I am fearless when I'm playing with just goggles on because I'm so used to that, but this is just an added protection factor. So if I'm running through the 8, I'm not going to be that worried about getting hit by a defender, getting hit by a ball, or even a shot. So I was actually having a few conversations with some collegiate players that have seen this in their time playing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see this during my time playing, so I had a conversation with them, and the defenders that said they went up against an attacker that had one of these on, a disadvantage to the system, and it's kind of counterintuitive, is that the defenders actually stated that they weren't afraid to take a big check or a big swing at the player's head because they are having this type of protection. It's not going to hurt them as much, so they are able to go in with a big check. Whereas also, I mean, on the other hand, if I'm an attacker, I've already talked about this before, but I'm going to feel the same way as if I'm going through an 8. I'm probably just going to lead in with my head, not caring if I'm going to get a concussion or not, because I feel that I am protected with this helmet on. I think that's a bit counterintuitive to what Cascade is trying to attack here by lessening concussions and having protection. I think it's just kind of elevating the aggressiveness of the game. I think that in 10 years, you'll probably see all of us wearing this helmet and maybe even wearing full helmets like guys do. But if you're going to be having us wear full helmets, then you might as well just suit us up in full pads and have us check with the same rules that the guys have. So that's kind of my final opinion on it. I'm not too sure that if I would adopt this system if I was playing, because I haven't really suffered a lot of concussions in my time playing. But if it were a rule, then I would see no problem in it, and I think that it would kind of reduce the assumptions that they have against this helmet. So all in all, I think that Cascade is going in a really great direction with this. As you know, Cascade is the forerunner and the most prominent in men's lacrosse gear in the men's helmet area. So why not be the best in women's equipment as well? I think this is a great integration into our game. It will serve as a great protection for the players and to reduce concussions. So maybe in 10 years or maybe even earlier than that, you will see women's lacrosse players wearing helmets. Until then, comment below if you like this, if you have a helmet, or if you have any comments at all about it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time.
I'm headed to the bottom.